right. Looks like we are live. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year from the Red Smoke family. Yeah, Alex, I'm tired of the old intro. 2021 now. New rules.
All right.
It's a very first show of the new year. Alex, I am very excited for tonight. Are you?
Oh yes, very excited.
Yeah, German way excited.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, sorry, I forgot about that.
everybody who's listening, Germans don't actually get excited.
No, we don't, and we don't
no,
laugh ever.
No, absolutely. Alex, officially we are now on the air for like 2 years. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Look, man. Look, man, I'm a little bit superstitious, so I am going to nevertheless drop my catchphrase, because we don't care what's going on in the world. If it's a great morning in Germany, it's gonna be a sensational night in America. I don't give a crap what's going on. Wherever you are, welcome to Red Smoke, everybody who's listening. Not the worst way to start a stream, come on. People are excited for 2021. Are you excited for 2021, Alex? I don't even want to go into that, but like resolutions, are you that kind of man?
Actually, I don't think resolutions are that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Money Twitter is making a lot of fun of New Year's resolutions, and I get it because you see it in the gym every year. On New Year, it's like completely packed with people.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks later, you're on your own again, and the same old people are there. Except this time, you can actually go to the gym. So yeah, but no, I think New Year's resolutions are a great thing to remind yourself of what you actually want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's obviously a difference between the people who would then pull through and the people who give up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But at least it gives people an incentive to change something about their life, and for some it works. So I guess I like them.
Yeah,
personally, I don't have many New Year's resolutions. I have difficulties talking, if you can tell.
No, that's okay.
Because I usually always have goals and intentions.
Yeah, let's make this show a little bit less creepy, and I think we're good.
Wait, how do I do that?
But that's impossible. We're from Germany, man. That's
exactly.
It is in our blood, man. We were on vacation last week, and America was relieved, I could tell. But now we are back with a vengeance.
Oh yeah.
Last show was on Christmas Eve, man. It feels so long ago.
It does,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Which is weird because we haven't done that many shows yet, but it still feels like I have been missing something.
Yes.
Which is really weird.
It's funny, man. People are so crazy when it comes to Christmas. You know, especially in the U.S. Right after Thanksgiving, like in November, one day after Thanksgiving, everything is packed like with Christmas and like Christmas decorations and lights and all this stuff. And people are like, I want it. And then right after Christmas, I want it out. They're like so crazy about that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's really just that short period of time.
Yeah.
And it's really exactly that short period of time. You cannot have your Christmas tree up for longer.
Mm-hmm.
People get mad. Yeah, I mean, personally, I've never been that big of a Christmas guy, as we discussed last time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to meet the family and have some good food, but overall, I mean, it's just some holidays.
Yeah. You know, Alex, I gotta say this because it's. I actually wanted to tell you this before we started the stream, but fuck it. You know, I was seeing your tweet the other day. You know which one? About the pastor or preacher. What was he like? The Congress opening prayer. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't. What did I tweet?
That guy who said like amen and a women.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know, every so often I see or I hear things that restore my faith in humanity, man. And this wasn't one of those times.
I was gonna say there was not one of those.
Man, you can't make this shit up. I didn't actually believe this happened. You know, I've seen the thumbnail, and I was reading your tweet. I don't remember what you wrote over this video. I thought this was like a staged sketch. But no,
To be honest, I first thought so as well. I think I wrote the whole crowd couldn't get any dumber or something like that.
yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, there was this Congress guy who ended his speech with a man and a woman, meaning that the Hebrew word amen to end your prayer is now some sort of masculine thing or like toxic.
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
even make sense. The word
Focus
is.
around man. I don't even know what. Yeah,
It's
I
actually
mean, it's
it's
not even an English word.
actually it's Hebrew as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes.
And I believe that's my
My bad.
that's my resolution for 2021. Learn as much of those crazy words like these, man. Dude,
Yeah, I mean,
I love 2021 already. So I don't know if the crazy pastor, the A man and A woman guy, or the guy from the Capitol, from the riots, that guy that looked like Braveheart, that
yeah.
actually
So
the
I can, yeah,
actually 13th Warrior cosplay, I believe.
yeah, that was funny. I
Oh
mean, the
my
memes are
god.
already popping up everywhere.
Mm.
It's yeah, 2021 is starting with a
Be-
big bang,
Best
definitely.
year of my life, I swear to God. Dude, imagine like there's a time machine, right? And someone from, I don't know, like 1986 comes to 2021, and the first thing he sees is this preacher with a mask on his face saying a man and a woman, and this guy with his Braveheart outfit. And you say, what the
Yes.
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's idiocracy, really, if you
Yes.
think about it. Because really nothing makes sense anymore.
Mm.
What's happening in the real world,
Yeah.
or like in the mainstream world, let's put it that way. And that is what people are experiencing, I think, as well, and how they think as well.
Mhm.
That nothing really makes sense anymore. All these things that are happening are just crazy.
Absolutely.
And you think, what's going on really? Where's this going?
Everybody who's listening, if you think the world is crazy, you come to the right place. Absolutely. Oh my
Oh,
god. Yeah. Our special guest will be joining us in a few minutes. And we'll be talking about obsessed girls. And we're talking briefly about Scarface as well. Alex, you
oh
said
yeah.
you just said you have rewatched the movie.
Yes, I was very much enjoying that because I remember that I think it's been like 10 years since I've watched this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a like, great memory going back to these times when I watched it the first time
Mm-hmm.
because it is a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed it. I should have watched it many more times, but I sort of forgot about it.
Yeah, that's what Red Smoke does. It brings you back to your roots.
Yes, it really does.
You know what's funny is someone tweeted about the movie Scarface. Like Hollywood is doing like this, all of these remakes and stuff. Like they're remaking everything. And someone tweeted a picture from Tony Montana from Al Pacino's character, and he wrote, "Better not remake this." Well, little did he know that Scarface from 1983 is actually a remake on itself.
Yeah.
Have you seen the original Scarface from 1932?
I did not. No,
Hmm.
I haven't. Rather.
Yeah, well,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
I also prefer like the sun drenched, the tropical, the third world gangster cigar, sexy Miami movie. I have to say,
Yeah.
I watched the old Scarface, and I would even say the script is a little bit better, but yeah, sexy Miami movie wins.
You know what's funny about this? As someone who has been playing a lot of video games in the past, when I saw at the end Tony Montana's huge mansion again, I was reminded of GTA Vice City
I
because
believe the whole franchise was inspired by this movie. No
yeah, it
shit.
was inspired, but it was also in this very game, the Miami Vice or Vice City, yeah, Vice City, it's called the Vice City game. The mansion you get in the end of the movie is exactly the same as in the movie, yeah. So it's modeled after the movie there, and so you can actually live like Tony Montana, and it's also very similar to it. So I really enjoyed how this movie inspired a lot of things.
Absolutely, and it's yeah, it's. I don't. I mean, I don't remember. I wasn't alive when the movie came out, but I read a lot of trivia around this movie that when it came out, it was so controversial
Oh yeah.
that people refused to, like, people went out of the cinema saying this is too brutal, which it still is. So
It is.
it actually features like over 200 uses of the F word, which is about 1.21 fucks per minute. And at the time
No,
of the film's release, this was the most of any movie in history. It's crazy.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is, I was reminded of The Wolf of Wall Street when I was watching this
Yes.
movie, and I thought, no, is it sort of a remake to some degree of Scarface, but a worse one. Personally, I don't like The Wolf of Wall Street very much
Okay.
because I think it's really just pretty stupid display of excess, and because there's really no depth to the whole movie. And I think Scarface really has something to it because it's this build-up of this guy who's trying to make it, and well, he's not just trying, he knows from the very beginning that he's going to make it at some point, which is a mental model I really enjoy. This belief, even though you're washing dishes, you already know you will be very successful one day.
I mean,
And
it's
there are a lot
it's a
of-
classic arc, you know, washing
Yes,
dishes,
exactly.
and he ends up being a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, he's actually stupid rich at the end, especially for those times. And I mean, I don't think we spoil anything here. If I
No,
don't know.
if you haven't seen the movie
obviously
yet,
everything-
just get out of here, man.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think there are a lot of lessons in there, and but I think it just has more character than The Wolf of Wall Street, even though it's pretty similar actually in the story arc.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it has more characters. That it definitely has more style.
Oh,
I think of Scarface. The first thing that comes to my mind is style.
yeah,
So
his-
suave, so
his
sexy.
great
I just
suits,
love this
right,
movie.
the Miami style. Yeah,
By the
Well,
way, I believe The Wolf of Wall Street was the movie that was the first movie that had more F words than Scarface. Ironically,
yes, that was why I was thinking about it.
yeah,
um,
I think it
when you
holds the
mentioned
record
this.
now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
is
still,
well
to get back to
deserved.
the original point, this movie, it is very brutal, even for today's standards. Yeah, you gotta be honest about
Yeah, I'm
that.
thinking about the
It's very-
chainsaw scene and
Yes,
stuff. You know.
I mean, that's pretty early in the movie as well,
Mm-hmm.
when he gets out his chainsaw,
Yeah.
and it is, yeah, pretty brutal. But this also displays pretty greatly a very tough life he is
Yeah.
living. So I think it fits very well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to talk a little bit about Tony Montana, about the character, because like we just previously talked about it, how we adore him and how we don't adore him.
Yeah, I think if you tell someone that Tony Montana is actually something or a character you can look up to, at least in some degrees, people would be like, "Are you out of your mind? How can a huge drug dealer and like murderer be someone you look up to?"
Absolutely.
And this is always the same issue, that people just don't think nuanced enough. Because obviously I'm not telling people to kill others or become a drug dealer.
No,
To
of
make
course.
millions of
and,
dollars.
and we are also not paid to make to give you affiliate on Grand Theft Auto Vice City. No, we're not paid in any way. This stream is not. Who still makes like commercials for Vice City? Like this movie's old. This game is old, man.
Yeah, it's really old. But it was, I think, still one of the funniest GTA games.
Absolutely. Okay, Alex, our guest is ready, I believe.
Yes.
I just put him
Great.
into. Hold on a second. All right. Okay, I believe we are live.
I got lost for a second, but I think I'm back.
Okay, perfect. Yes, Joe is online. Our first guest
Hello.
of 2021. Hello, Joe. He's a good friend. He's handsome. He works out. This man is so Motown, man. Lethal Weapon, Mr. Dynamite. His tweets are catchy, bright, and sweetly intoxicating. It's no wonder he became so popular. Men are entranced by his charisma and the young woman. Well, if you know, you know. We are glad he is here tonight. Welcome to Red Smoke, brother. And good morning, Joe
Glad
Lampton.
to be here. Glad to be here. Can you hear me?
Yes, Joe. Very well.
Good, good.
Thank you for doing this, Joe. I remember it was around Christmas when Alex reached out to me and he said, hey, do you want to have Joe Lampton on the show? And I said, Joe Lampton? And said, yeah. So, do I want to? Yeah, get this guy on the show, man.
Glad you like my content.
Absolutely.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Joe, I have to say sorry, man. I have to start with an apology. Look, you're a huge personality in Romania. I mean, it's not necessary to introduce you to the audience. I feel really bad. I'm planning to visit Romania as soon as the whole COVID stuff disappears, you know? And
Nice.
I gotta say, I don't know why, but I had a bad image of Romania. I don't know why. People here in Germany, I mean, Alex will vouch for that maybe, always tell like bad things about Romania. Alex, do you have the same image?
Yes, absolutely. For some reason, people think Romania is some sort of gypsy country.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
this is very
Because of like in the 90s when the communist was over, like a lot of thieves from Romania went to the West, you know, especially Germany. It was like a thing for Romanians to go and steal from the West, you know. So like all the scumbags in Romania were like very impressed that in the West people had money, but they were like stupid, and like it was easier to steal from there and come in Romania and spend the money, you know. And also after that, all the low IQs and idiots went like slaves working in Germany and other countries. So like the quality of Romanians in Germany is like very low. Like the Romanians that go abroad can't like become rich here, you know. Like they do all the shitty jobs in Western Europe. So it's like people who do shitty jobs and like the thieves and pimps and things like this, you know. And another thing is like all the prostitutes from Romania with their pimps, like who do like street pimping, are also in Germany. So like probably all the prostitutes in Germany are Romanian.
You know what's funny,
Yeah, that
Joe?
might be true.
Actually, Alex, you can try it out if you want right now. Actually, if you Google Bucharest, which is actually it's tragic, but if you Google Bucharest in Germany, Google, the first thing that comes up is, and I quote, Bucharest is ugly, loud, and dusty. You know, like it's some kind of shithole third world country. And Joe, I gotta say, it was actually mostly your stories and your like pictures on the social media and on the Twitter and stuff, which made me realize, man, this is a fucking beautiful country. I want to go there and drive on the roads there.
Yeah, yeah. There's beautiful roads like the guys from Top Gear said the road from Romania called Transfăgărășan is like the best road in Europe.
Yes.
Like they did the show and like went with Ferraris and everything. It's like a very nice road. There's like nice places in Romania, but like mostly to enjoy Romania you have to know somebody there, you know? Because if like a random guy comes here, he won't get like the best tables in the clubs and like all the night life. Like the foreigners in Romania who do it the best are like the Tate brothers. They like run Romania. They do everything they want because they have a strong reputation here. But usually, like for a good vacation, like maybe it's a better option to go somewhere like, I don't know, in other cities, because like here it's okay if you're Romanian, if you have money, or like if you're a foreigner and you have friends. But yeah, the places are nice, like the views, the mountains, the seaside are nice places.
What would you recommend, Joe? When I come to Romania, of course I'm gonna say hello to you. What is? Give me a secret gem in Romania. Give me something only an insider like you knows. What's the place to be when I'm in Romania?
Like there's multiple places, the mountains and like the seaside. But like I think the summer is the best time to come. You know. Like maybe you rent a car, drive through the mountains, that road I was talking about, and like go to the seaside. It's a place called Mamaya. Now a lot of foreigners come in summertime and party there because it's like the new Ibiza, you know? It's something. It's like the nightlife is very good for Europe.
Well,
Like I recommend you come like when it's warm outside in Transylvania and also the seaside.
well, Joe, on
Yeah, I
the
guess there's.
yeah, Alex.
Sorry.
You may, Alex.
I guess there's some other nice views you can have there, because I've been told that there
Like
are the
if
most
you guys
beautiful women
message
in
me,
Romania.
if you, yeah, and if you guys message me, I'll show you. Like I'll send you pictures of every nice place in Romania because actually this year was my first year when I started heavily visiting all the nice places in Romania. This year I stopped working. Like my webcam business is automated. Like I have a CEO, my cousin at my company, so like I had a lot of free time and I went like in all the nice places. And another reason for me doing this is like the clubs were closed because of COVID, and I was like, okay, I'll just go in every part of Romania. I'll rent like the nicest Airbnb, stay there for like 1 week, 3 days, one weekend, you know, and I went all over the place.
Yeah, I saw your recent video where you just were throwing a big party regardless of COVID and all of that bullshit. And I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
enjoyed that.
yeah. I did that also. Yeah. Actually, I threw two parties. Like one, I went to a party in the mountains. It was Andrew Tate's birthday. Like it was like 5 guys and 40 girls. And then in New Year's Eve, I tried to replicate the same concept for myself. It was like 5 guys and 20 girls, something like this. Also in the mountains. It was nice. But besides partying, I also went like a tourist and visited all the nice places, nature, mountain, everything. You know, this year.
Hey Joe, you
Yeah,
ever
so you
you
were basically a free man, right?
Yeah, yeah. Freedom is the nicest thing.
hey,
Yeah,
Joe,
so what I'm
yeah, Alex, you talk. You talk.
yeah, sorry, man.
That's okay.
No,
That's
but
okay.
I'm like very interested in how you manage all of this, how your freedom came about, how you did it all.
So like few years I've been very focused on working, and in Romania to make money on webcam you have to like focus on the night shift because most of the money comes from Americans. So like the most money is from in the night shift. So like I worked Wednesday, Sunday. I stayed in the studio because when I went away or when I tried to put somebody like staff to stay with the girls, there was always something came up. The girls got into arguments one with another, and like it was better for my money to be there. But after that, after I met Tate, he gave me some advice because he was more experienced in the webcam industry. Like his advice, I managed to scale it and like focus on less models, but like make more money. So like I was like free to not go to work. So now I'm just managing it from home, you know, and I talk with my cousin and I also make more money from it. But like a few years I've been in the trenches, been very focused on webcam, and I've
This,
been like in the studio every day.
that's an important thing people always tend to forget, and it's also something I was reminded of when I watched Scarface, that people always only see your life now, you know, all the girls and the cars and the money, but they sort of tend to forget that there was some period of time where you really had to work hard to get there. They just think you got lucky overnight, and that's like never the case.
Yeah, it's hard to be efficient in your methods if you don't initially work hard. So like I think most of the time, first you work hard, and then through trial and error, you learn from your mistakes. Maybe you get some mentors, and you become very efficient with your energy, and like you can invest little time and get bigger results. But like in the beginning, it's a lot of work, a lot of useless work maybe, but like you need it in the beginning. You don't have that much information, that much experience. You have to be there in any business, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I noticed as well. You pretty much, I like to say, fail forward. You have to like make mistakes and understand why they came about and what you learn from it, and then you will be better
Yeah.
the longer you do it.
Yeah, I remember talking in 2019, like you know that guy from Twitter, AJ Cortez. He's very big on
Yeah.
fitness and like he has a big following on Twitter. He has like 100K. So like he was saying, he had to be like in the gym every day training clients for 10 years, and after that he became very efficient with with his methods. He started his online business, but like he needed those 10 years. For him it was 10 years of staying in the gym and training clients there. And after that he created a following, and even when he created his following on Twitter, it was like, bro, in the beginning I was like tweeting 100 times a day. So like it's the same process. It's the same concept. Like in everything, when you start, you have to put in more work when you're new to a business.
Yeah, I think Twitter is actually a great metaphor there, or a great example, because I noticed myself. When you are at 200 followers or 500 or whatever, you really have to tweet a lot to actually get noticed. And once you like
Yeah.
reach the 10K or something like that, it's usually not that difficult. You can just tweet something and someone will retweet it anyway. So it becomes easier at the top, which is generally a truth
Yes.
in life.
Yeah. It's true.
Guys, allow me shortly to intervene. When it comes to tweeting, Joe, I got a question for you. Because if I start at the beginning for me with you or my story or how I found you, there has been many tweets from you, but there was like one tweet that really stuck out to me, and it starts with, "You must be able to calm your mind instantly," and then you tell a little bit more, and that's the tweet where you end with, "Be a smooth criminal." And
Yeah.
I believe that's my favorite tweet for you. You probably tweeted it in February last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I know the tweet. So when I wrote that, I was thinking like the most lethal guys I know don't overestimate every situation. Aren't emotional, you know.
Hmm.
So like you have to be able to calm your mind in every scenario. Like if you make a lot of money one day, you know, like I had days when I made like, I don't know, 10K, 20K maybe, you know, but I was like, I wasn't like overly excited, like jerking off, oh, I made money, you know. I was like, okay. And it's the same mentality when something bad happens.
Right.
Did you see it all the time? Like guy does something wrong, like cheats on his girl and the girl finds out, like he's like devastated, cries, can't focus, can't train, you know. So you have to be like neutral in everything. Like if you're happy, don't overestimate it. If you're sad, like be normal. This is my style, for example.
Yeah, that's what you wrote. You wrote
And I
both
have a,
extremes
like
can.
I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, and I thought about this one morning, like I think 3 years ago. Like my cousin had the a key from my house, so like I worked in on the night shift, so like it was like 10 a.m. I usually slept at that hour. Like my cousin entered my room, was with the bitch in the bed sleeping, and he was like, "Bro, wake up, wake up." So like I wake up and he's like, "Bro, we don't have any more models. Like somebody from our staff stole all the models and like opened her own studio, and now we don't have no model." He was like very panicked and very shocked about the situation, because it was like they plotted without us knowing it, and like all the girls went away, and like we had a lot of girls and we were making a lot of money in that time period. So I was like very calm, and like I was like, okay, I'm going to sleep. When I wake up, we'll formulate a plan, we'll get the studio filled with girls, we'll create a marketing plan, and everything is okay. Like from that situation where in my heart I was like stressed out, because it was the possibility for me to lose everything, but I remained calm, and like I figured everything out, and in the end it was like very good. The outcome was very good.
I
Joe.
think
Yeah.
I think that's also the mark of a leader, really, to be calm in any sort of situation that ever comes about, be it good or bad. You just just have to keep your composure and proceed with whatever you need to do. Even if it might be you lose everything, and then you need to start again. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and also I think from a young age I've had people around me who depended on me. Like my parents depend on me, my friends depend on me. I can't afford myself to be stupid and to be emotional and to be stressed out because everyone relies on me. Like I became very calm and very effective. Like, when something bad happens, I think about the solutions. I don't think about, oh, what if I did that and that. No, I try to solve every problem, and I think it's the most little men are problem solvers. It's like a good businessman. He solves every problem. That's why he's paid a lot. So I think it's very important to solve problems without being overly emotional and panicked and things like this.
Joe, are you a very patient person?
Yeah, I think so because like I understand the process. Even with the, let's say in the pimp game, let's call it like this. I see a lot of guys that are like have the scammer mentality, like, oh, I'll just meet a girl and I'll take all her money, and they have a lot of scammer ideas. The same with Twitter. Guys that are on Twitter are like, oh, I want to make money from Twitter, and they start selling from the beginning, and nobody knows them. Yeah, in everything you have to develop that patience and like don't rush things. You have to start with a plan in mind, like to be very precise and strategic with your actions. The same in everything, even with dating. So like I think yesterday I posted on my Twitter and on Instagram stories the girl that tattooed my name, another girl that did this. So it happened like my friends were shocked because it happened kind of fast. Like I know her for like 4-5 weeks, I think. But I managed to do it because I was very effective in my methods. Like there was a situation when I was like, okay, if you want to surprise me with something that shows me that you really love me, just do the tattoo. Like you have to develop a good plan and to be patient. If you just meet a girl fucker and oh, I want you to tattoo my name, you'll be a loser. So you have to be patient.
Yeah, Alex, that actually reminds me of the discussion I wanted to have like briefly on the show. Like when I'm just thinking about Tony Montana, and I always like to compare him to, like, for example, Vito Corleone from The Godfather.
Yes.
Like you have like Tony Montana, who is just brutal, and who has like
Yeah.
okay, he has a plan, right? But he is very brutal, and he only rises up because of his brutality and his cold blood. On the other hand, we have Vito Corleone, who is like a chess player. He has a strategy and stuff, right?
Yeah, like Vito Corleone was helping people because he knew in the future he might need them, and he was like very good at maintaining relationships and like, yeah, very patient. Yeah, you're right, and I didn't think about this till now, but it's true. I didn't think about this comparison.
Joe, which one do you pick, Tony Montana or Vito Corleone?
Like I like Scarface more, I think, but like Vito Corleone's approach was definitely better because he was like a family guy. It was like something that lasted longer. Tony Montana was from bottom to here and then he died. Like I think I like Vito's approach, Vito's life, instead of Tony Montana's highs and lows and like crazy drug abuse and like exaggerating things. I'd rather be Vito.
Yeah,
Tony.
I think Tony Montana was his biggest issue. Really was taking his own drugs he was selling, because that made him, very unpredictable.
No,
And
if I think about it, like when you make a lot of money and like when you have the clout, a lot of things appear in your universe that can distract you from your mission. Like it's very easy for you to be stupid. Like you have to be even more careful when you have the money and the looks and the nice place and the nice car, because there's a lot of girls that aren't the best decision, a lot of idiot friends that you can have in your entourage. I see it all the time. Guys that are successful and attractive. You have to be like strategic, and I I encounter things like this now in my life, but I'm the kind of guy who's like, okay, I don't, even though I don't have nothing to do, like I can just sit all day long and party. I'm like, no, today we're working. No, today we're training 2 times. Okay, let's take this bitch and take her home. No, now we stay guys and like we formulate a plan for next month. Like, even though you have the possibility to be crazy every day, you shouldn't do it. Like with drugs, because nowadays even in Romania people use drugs a lot. So I don't like drug users, and I avoid girls that take drugs and things like this. It's a thing when you make some money that you should be careful for you to go to the next level, because most guys are like, they make the first chunk of money and they like spend it all and they're stupid and they start partying, you know? Like
Yeah.
you have to be strategic.
Yeah, I think many people don't understand that becoming rich or having a lot of money and things in abundance is actually more difficult than not having it. I mean, I know this sounds stupid
Yeah.
and people might hate us for it, but there's a lot of, as you said, like things that can distract you and you lose everything because you party all the time or take drugs. So keeping your discipline becomes harder the more successful you are, actually.
Yeah, it's true. It's true because you can do everything. Like, let's say back in the day, I was when I had no money, I was like forced to be in the studio every day to make money to buy myself the apartment I dreamed of in the nice residential area or things like this. Or because I was like, bro, why go party when I don't have the latest designers and the things I really like? I was like, I need money. I want these tattoos that are expensive. I want all the designer clothes. I want very expensive apartment. I want to drive the latest car. I want to have like millionaire friends. I need this stuff, these things. But like right now, I'm in the position where I can just party every day. But like I'm very focused. I just party when it's time to party. Not trying to exaggerate with nothing. You can find pleasure in working, and you can find pleasure in creating memories. But it has to be a balance between them. There are guys who only work, and like they miss the memories. They don't have enough bitches. They don't have an active social life. Not enough friends. Not enough influence. And there are also guys who are like very hedonistic and like exaggerate with things and like take drugs and are idiots. It's very hard to find the balance between those two, creating memories and creating a bright future. But I think this is the key for a complete life.
That was very deep, man. I like that because I think there's a heavy truth to this. That because people, that's what I get a lot when they get on their journey trying to make money, become successful, whatever it is. They think of the parties or sitting at the beach with the mojito in hand, and that's all you do all your life. But this will never make you happy, really. If you just party like
Yeah.
every day for years, how does this even give you something? If you
Yeah,
could do it, if you had enough money, but
like
that's not something
for
to
me,
strive for.
I'll give you another example. I'm the kind of guy, because I've sat in the trenches so many years and like I've had a strong routine, like training all the time, okay, working from that hour to that hour and like scheduling everything. Like, for example, New Year's Eve, I was in the mountains for 3 days. So like I did the big party and brought all kind of bitches and like drank a lot. But like in the third day, couldn't wait to get home and like start working, start training, I can't just I feel bad with myself if I'm not productive in that way, in working, and but like a lot of guys don't give a fuck. Like they don't have that urge to create new things. but I have the motivation to create new bragging rights, new things that I can brag with. I have a big ego, so I have to demonstrate every time with new. I want to come with new things, new accomplishments.
I know exactly what you mean, man.
Yeah,
You can't just sit on your laurels and enjoy what you did. You always need to do something fresh, something new, something better. That's a drive any
yeah,
man has, I
because
think.
people, and like even the people around you, get accustomed to you. So like get used to you. And if you don't come with new things to shock everyone, you'll be forgotten. Like you always have to come with new things, new improvements.
You know what I was thinking about? We were just talking about Scarface, and in Spain, the movie is called El Precio del Poder, which literally translates to the price of power, which is a really good title
Nice.
actually. Joe,
Yeah.
do you think power comes always with a price?
Yes and no. Yeah, it definitely comes with a price because you have to sacrifice things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to be less stupid than others. Like you can do it. I think me personally, I do it in a way that, for example, if I had a boring ass business sitting with men in an office, I would feel like I wasted my youth. But
Mm-hmm.
like I did it in a way that I was always with bitches and I made my money with girls and like I had my fun. I also had my fun, but I also know that I'm growing every year. But like, of course, I think there are people who are like partying and doing fun shit every day. I'm not the kind of guy who does like genuine fun shit every day. Because right now, for example, it's like 7 in the morning, but I chose to stay up and do a podcast. Like all the night, I've worked on other things. I had a bitch at my house yesterday, and in the yesterday morning when I woke up, I was like, okay, go home now. I have work to do today. Like you definitely have to sacrifice things and like practice your skills. For example, now I want to practice my English. Last year, a lot of people were like, okay, come to my podcast, but I was like afraid to express myself in English. But like this year, I practiced a lot. Like I talked with a lot of war room and revenge guys. I did a lot of podcasts. I talked with a lot of people, like foreign people. So like a skill I want to practice because maybe in the future I have my own YouTube channel. So like I'm always trying to develop new skills. I was already good in writing, but now I'm becoming good in speaking and expressing myself in this language.
Joe, let me tell you really quick. I believe you have a real talent when it comes to that. It's very much like Tate, or you of course know him like Ivan Throne. Because whenever I read a message from you or from Tate or from Ivan, be it like on Twitter or on Telegram, what's the case? I instantly recognize it's from you. The classic Joe Lampton style.
Yeah,
You have a very
yeah,
like unique language when you write. You always write this learn life and stuff. Very few people have this.
yeah.
What's the secret, man?
Like from my youth, like my mom was an English teacher, and like
Hmm.
we didn't have money, but like my mom was very interested in reading, so like we had a lot of books in my house, like thousands of books. So she was obsessed for me to read a lot. Of course, bullshit, but like I read it, and like after that, I developed a passion for words and reading and literature and things like this. So especially in Romanian, I was like in learning how to express myself, learning how to write well. And after that, I used it in different
Alex, can
and
you
I
You
also
hear
basically
had
me?
to
copyrighted.
train them to be convincing and do it by themselves.
You know what's funny
I
about
had
this?
to I had to
Because
develop this skill.
sorry, yeah, because people always think that if they see some guys that run webcam studios or like literal pimps, that they are stupid. But really, there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom you need to have to keep your girls under control and to make them obsessed, because I've actually read your book, Obsessed. I really enjoyed it. And I have noticed, especially in your writing as well, that this is this weird stigma. I guess people don't, yeah, they really don't like these kind of people, but you cannot be stupid if you want to be like a pimp or have girls under control. You need to know
Man,
exactly what you're doing.
yeah, like you can be stupid, but like for me, it was like I was interested in being competent in different areas. So like I liked to be competent from a gangster's perspective, like with the bitches and fighting and looking tough, but I also wanted to be competent if I sat at the same table with intellectuals. Like I wanted to develop from myself from every angle. It was very important for me. And it helps me even with girls because I have a competitive advantage. Most of the guys they interact with are attractive, have money, but don't have my way with words and make a guy love you. But I had to teach them. Imagine teaching and like teaching all these 19-year-old girls from my studio throughout the years. Like, of course, I teach them the webcam part of things, but like also the lifestyle, because to be a successful cam model, you have to live a clean life. Like I taught them how to behave with men from real life, how to behave with their parents, and like I was like a teacher for like a life coach for them. So like I had to develop the ability of expressing myself. Everyone knew what they had to do.
Hey, Joe, allow me to ask you, how long do you need for a tweet? How many drafts do you have? It's very impressive because I know English is not even your first language, so I don't even want to know your game in Romania. You know, I don't even want to know how good you are in Romanian. Are you like typing in your phone blindly and just sending it to the world, not thinking much about it, or do you have many drafts before you put out the tweet? For example, like the
I'm not.
tweet I
I'm
said.
just like yeah. I'm just like writing in my notes some ideas.
Mhm.
Like my way of doing it is like I talk with my friends all day, and like from the discussions we have, if I think of something, I write the concept like in my phone, and later when I'm in the car and like or I'm in on a restaurant board, I just go for my notes, like see there, like I have a lot of notes. I have thousands of notes every time. So like most of them are like what I have to do, my plans and things like this, but also like tweet ideas and I because if I write a tweet is like helping me put my mind in order. That's why I tweet. I
Mhm.
don't tweet like for okay, I have to tweet 20 times this day. No, I just like it helps me understand myself better and understand what I want and what I think. It helps me come to conclusions that help me and maybe others. Like I don't stay on a tweet like a lot of 1 hour. I just see the concept, write the tweet, and send it. I don't like to overthink.
Okay. Alex, I'm interested in your take because you're also just like Joe. You're very successful on Twitter, and I mean it's interesting because you have also written a book. You even have written a novel. So what about you? Is there a difference between writing a tweet and writing a book? Both of you can answer now.
Um, yes, I think so. Because on Twitter, well, actually, Twitter is actually a great way to learn writing because you have to make your thoughts concise. You only have 280 characters, so you have
Yeah,
to be,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, you have to really get the point across and not using much or many words. So that really helps you to become a better writer, I think, which has also helped me writing better in my books. But yeah, my approach is pretty similar to Joe's here. I have just notes and ideas everywhere about things I want to tweet or talk about, really. And some I don't tweet out because they don't fit with like my brand, or I know it's gonna be bad energy if I tweet it, like some political stuff. But most of it, when I think about writing it, I really also don't overthink it, and I think this is a very important part. Obviously, I look for like typos or something, and if it makes sense what I'm writing, but I'm not trying to be absolutely perfect with every tweet because I think that takes away the authenticity of it.
Yeah, Alex is right, because when you write, let's say, a book or an article, and you have the subject in your mind, it's easier to express yourself in a lot of words. But like with Twitter, as Alex said, you have to be very concise. Like the the person who reads it has to understand the conclusion in 280 characters. So it's hard to put a smart conclusion in one tweet. But it also helps you, if you manage to do it, it helps you understand yourself and understand what you believe about a certain subject.
Yeah, I like what you said about that. Is it really helps you like structure your own thoughts if you tweet? Because I've seen a lot of guys who are successful on Twitter. They all say they really just tweet for themselves. They really just do it to keep their own thoughts together and to remind themselves about these things. And it's the same I do. I really just tweet to remind myself about these truths I learned and to keep them in my mind. And the benefit and bonus obviously is that other people like it as well.
Well, Joe and Alex, are you guys afraid of getting censored on Twitter? I mean, if the president of the USA can be banned.
Yeah, and that's why I have like my Telegram channel. That's why I have my email list, because it's easier to like express myself there. Like I became like comfortable with being censored, and I think if you want to prosper in 2021, you have to censor yourself a bit. You can't just be an idiot and like have extremist thoughts. You know, it's not efficient to be like this. Like it's better if you try to avoid certain subjects.
Yeah, I would agree with Joe there because I actually have been banned in the past. I think 2 times. Well, not completely, but just like a 24-hour ban or something. About tweets or over tweets. And now, personally, I don't mind like losing my Twitter account because I'm not very like bound to it. This is the first impression I had in my mind, but on the second thought, I was like, yeah, of course I don't lose much of it, but the people who get my message lose a lot of it, and the people I've helped with that. So if I want to keep doing that, then I have some sort of responsibility to keep my Twitter account alive and keep it like working. So there is some, I guess there's some self-censoring, but for me it's not crazy, like because I avoid these political topics as much as possible, except for making some memes or jokes about it. That's funny, and everything else I talk about is considered sexist anyway. So I mean that's how to censor yourself there. So I don't do it like with everything, but in some topics, especially the political one, where Twitter is very crazy, I don't talk too much about, or at least I censor myself.
How do you guys deal with haters on Twitter? I'm 100% sure you guys get like hate messages a lot.
Yeah, I don't. I just
No?
ignore it.
Yeah, like I became very comfortable with haters, especially because I had like some viral tweets. I had a tweet like viral on Twitter and like on Instagram, even on TikTok. It was like something about ask a question. If somebody raped your wife, would you break up with her with no remorse or just stay with her? And like I had a lot of comments from guys like from the manosphere who were like, oh, she's damaged goods, and like because of this, a lot of people retweeted it. Oh, you're so how to ask this question? Of course, you have to remain with her, and it was a big discussion. And from this tweet alone, I had like hundreds and hundreds of feminists, but like I don't give a fuck because first hand, like people from Romania, like from my reality, aren't on Twitter. Romanians don't use Twitter. Like it's like just people from the internet. So like I don't give a fuck. I only care about the people I respect and I know in real life. I care about their opinion.
Yeah, I
Sure.
guess you get a lot of comments about being sexist or something because you're dealing with women is very opposite to what society deals correct or deems correct, and which is the
Yeah,
same thing I get a lot. But what do you think about this whole like woke feminism thing?
I think this is like we have to accept that this is the reality, and if you're strong and if you're in you reach the top 1%, you can create your own small universe and small world where you can implement all the crazy shit you think about. So like in my universe, I do what the fuck I want. I say a lot of sexist shit. I do a lot of crazy things. Now I deal with censorship on Instagram because I posted a lot of crazy stories this year with girls tying up my shoes and girls with bruises and crazy things like this. But like in my universe, I do what the fuck I want, and it's hard for me to be destroyed because I don't rely on a job or I'm not the
Yeah,
guy who's like, oh, if my employer sees what I think, it will be bad. So like I don't give a fuck. And like Romania is like more right wing, not so much censorship like in America.
yeah. So you pretty much created your own reality, and this is exactly where the freedom comes from.
Yeah,
And this
like
is
I
yeah.
created my own reality and I normalized my ideas, like that for others are extreme.
Yeah, but I think this is important because people, especially men these days, they cannot fathom that you can create your own reality, especially around women. That you can have women that are totally obsessed with you and utterly in love with you. They just cannot believe this exists at all, and then they see you, who manages all of that easily. And I think this is great.
Yeah, it is great, but it's hard to implement and it requires a lot of work and like a lot of credibility from you. But it can be done if you really want it.
Yeah, I think that's true for everything, though. If you really want
Yeah.
something, like to achieve or in your life, then there is a lot of work involved. It doesn't matter if it's money or women or fame, success, whatever it is. There's always a lot
Yeah.
of work involved and a lot of shit you have to go through really before it actually works out. And I think that's a very important lesson there. But I think I just love that you display this because it shows people what is possible if you put the work in.
Yeah, of course. Like if you have enough strength, you can create a reality where you like I said before, you normalize ideas that in real world are extreme. Like in my world, I can treat females the way I like and like make fun of them and like put them to make tattoos with my name and cheat and do a lot of crazy shit that most people can do, but like in my universe, they're normal. I create like in my entourage, everyone believes in these ideas, and like when a new girl, let's say, comes here in my house or like with my friends, we all push the same agenda, so it becomes easy. Now
Yeah.
it's easy.
That's definitely one thing I wanted to address here because recently I've retweeted one of your tweets. I think it said how to get a girl from Instagram into your bed or something like that. I don't know.
Yes.
Some sort of guide. Yeah, and someone approached me and said that this would promote promiscuity and this is bad. And the funny thing is this because, as I always say, life is much more nuanced than Twitter. And I think your message, and especially like how to have girls being obsessed with you, really only applies to very like the apex man, the 1% really. Most guys can never pull this off. And this is where I think that the like promoting this isn't really bad because it doesn't really apply to most men. And most men are just totally fine with that one woman they have and it's okay. So I think this is very important here to make this to discern this, that there aren't just multiple realities people live in, men live in, and if someone posts a message online, it doesn't necessarily has to apply to you or ruin society at all. I think people need to understand
Yeah,
that there is a very
but
big
like,
difference.
if you want, even if your goal as a man is to get married, you have to be a player because you have to meet a lot of women to make the right choice. If you just settle with the first woman you fuck, or like if you didn't fuck enough girls, you probably find a bad wife. But if you're experienced and you're a player in the beginning, you can spot good girls much easier. A lot of guys, a lot of conservative guys from Twitter, for example, or family guys, they just settled for random girl that gave them pussy. It's better to be like, I see this at the Tate brothers, because they live like 15 minutes from me. Like, we see each other a lot. Like, they have a lot of good girls around them, and that's the reason is they had a lot of girls, and they know who's a good girl and who's not. They know how to pick them and how to train them. And like, they each have multiple loyal females around them. If you develop some like the playboy tenacity, it's easier for you as a man, even if your goal is to be married.
Yes, I think this is very important because men think just because you're married, you're just done. You don't have to take care of her anymore, and she's just around all the time, and it's fine. But it's totally not the case. You will have to game your wife or your girlfriend like all your life. Otherwise, you will either lose her or she will ruin your life. And it's very important,
Yeah, this is true also.
yeah,
Yeah.
that you understand that it's just the nature of women, and that if you are that kind of guy who understands it and how they operate, then you can have a lot of fun with them and enjoy their company instead of being miserable or bitter towards them for how they are.
And I think if you develop enough game and you have a good strategy, you can also have a wife and other girls. Honest, I don't think a man who has options can really stay with one woman 20 years, because he'll get bored. Like, there's different situations in life. For example, if you want to sleep and like eat something and work, of course it's better with your wife. You don't feel the pressure of getting drunk, being fun, fucking her. But like, if you live like a fun life and you go to the club every weekend, going with your wife won't make you that excited. You're more excited if you know, like, on Saturday I'm going to the club. Okay, I have that hoe coming and that hoe. Like, you're more excited. Like, you have. For me, I want both. I want girls that love me and I can just sit on my laptop and work and like have them bring me coffee and give me a massage. Like going to bed early and just sleeping. Don't give a fuck. And like, I also like gaming new girls and like feeling that excitement, because I know that when I'll be like 50, some of the things I do, like most of the things I do now, I won't do. Like, for example, living with my friends every day and training in the house and sparring, doing like 10 rounds of sparring per day. I won't be able to do this when I'm 50. I won't be able to find girls that are genuinely attracted to me when I'm 50. When I'm 50, probably I'll fuck bitches, but they'll fuck me for my status or my money. So like, why waste these years? I can be a CEO of a big company at 50, but I can't have 19-year-olds be genuinely attracted to me, you know? So I understand the perspective that you need a wife, but I think if you want a complete spectrum of emotions in your dating life, you also need new girls.
That also reminded me of Scarface actually, because I think in the scene in the movie, at some point he was talking to his wife. I forgot her name, that he wanted to have kids, and this is also something I think people get totally wrong about most men who are good with women. They still want to leave a legacy at some point. So here's the question: do you want to have kids at
Yeah,
some point?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, right. Because you just want
Yeah.
to build an empire, to raise someone, to be a mentor to like a
Yeah,
little
I
kid.
want kids, but like I wanted in like my vision is I want to have kids with multiple girls and like don't I don't want to be like a classic father that like stays with the kids when they're little. I want to get involved when they're bigger, more involved. Like I believe that the kid doesn't need the father every day. Like the mother can do basic shit like change diapers and like he needs the father later in life, not every day. Like the
Yeah,
father
actually,
has to create the game plan and the mother has to implement it. This is my
yeah, I think
belief.
this is the traditional way, like humans have lived for most of the time, and I actually agree
Yeah,
with that.
because if I have a family, I don't want to sacrifice my life and my money making abilities and like the bitches I want to fuck. Staying with the kid that like 2 years old when it doesn't matter. Like I don't believe he won't even remember it. You know, 2 years old. Like I have kids with girls that respect me, that can raise him, and I'll be there like once a week, see the kid, pay for everything, and like then focus on the important things. He'd rather have a father at 20 that he's proud about than me staying with the family every day and like micromanaging every bullshit situation,
Yeah, I
But
also think
of course, it's easy for me to talk because I don't have kids now. Maybe then my opinions will change. We'll see. And right now, this is how I see everything regarding kids and families.
Yeah, I think the important part is definitely that you, as a man, stay happy with what you do. Because if you are
Yeah,
with the kid all the time, but you're resentful and hateful in yourself, that doesn't help the kid at all. So you really have to look after you, what makes you happy, so the kid is actually happy in the end as well, because it has a happy father.
yeah. I think like some parents uh, forget about themselves and like focus on the family too much. And like man, I've seen kids with G fathers that were hating their fathers. I've seen kids with loser fathers that were hating their fathers. Like I believe a man when he'll become a man, like if you have a son, he'll love you, he'll understand you. Like, but when he's a teenager, if you're a G, he'll hate you because you have other bitches and you have businesses, and he'll be like, "Oh, my father doesn't want to spend time with me. He's obsessed with making money." And if you're a loser, he'll be like, "Oh, my dad's a loser. I wished my dad was rich and successful." So like kids are stupid anyway. So like you have to do what makes you happy.
Joe, what do you think is the difference between a boy and a man? We had a poster for Christmas for Red Smoke, and on that poster it was written, "We separate the man from the boys." Was there a time in your life when someone or you said to yourself, "Okay, I'm not a boy anymore. I'm now a man"?
Yeah, it was this, like I think this was a situation when I was like 18 or 17. My dad had brain surgery.
Mm.
Like he almost died, and I remember I I thought about the possibility that he'll die. Like I told my mother, "Don't be stressed. Now I'll be the man in the house." Something like this. Like he managed to live, but he didn't work anymore. Now, like his life is okay, but he couldn't work anymore. And like from then on, I was very focused on making money for myself. I became more responsible. You know, I think that was the first moment when I felt this.
Joe, are you more of a realistic guy? Do you believe in reality, or are you maybe spiritual or religious or maybe even esoteric?
No, I think I'm like I believe in extreme realism.
Hmm.
I believe you have to see every situation as it is, even though it may hurt you. I see a lot of people don't understand themselves, their qualities. Either they overestimate what they can do or they underestimate. I like to be a realist. I like to compare myself. Okay, what's my level of charisma with girls? Oh, what's my level of money compared to the society I live in? Like, because if you know if you understand the reality, you can hide your weaknesses and improve your strengths. For example, I know I'm 5'9", and I know other guys that are 6'5" are more have an advantage in the dating scene. But because I understand this, let's say weakness, I can be more charismatic, take more risks, be funnier, post more on Instagram. So like I have more success than most very tall guys because I understood my weakness. But other losers, they're like, oh, this doesn't matter. Oh, having money doesn't matter. Height doesn't matter. You know, they're like delusional. I'm not delusional. I know every weakness and every strength I have.
Yeah, these people tell themselves comforting lies so they don't have to confront their own
Yeah,
weaknesses.
or another thing, I know I have a big IQ. Having a big IQ comes with the price of overthinking. So every time I try to think less and do more, because my mind goes to. I remember when I started MMA, I was, most guys who fight well, like very dumb. You know why? Because dumb guys don't think about the consequences. They just do it. They're like, okay, let's fight. Don't give a fuck about injuries. Don't give a fuck about nothing. I was the kind of guy in the beginning. Somebody hit me, I go on the internet. Oh, brain damage. Bullshit ideas. And now I'm like, okay, because I'm smart. I'm overthinking. Don't overthink, and I just stop my thinking and just do it. You have to know that every strength you have comes with some weaknesses, and you have weaknesses that you can, like, for example, another example is guys that are naturally gifted, are handsome, don't work that much because they're accustomed from a young age to have success with girls. Like if you're an uglier guy, but you improve yourself in other areas of life, you can dethrone those guys. You have to be aware and a realist. To understand your situation and your genetics and your advantages.
Yeah, I think you just
Most
have to
people
be.
don't do it well.
Yes, I think you just have to be very honest with yourself, really, which is what most people don't do. They tell themselves lies about themselves or reality. Try to, as you said, they say, "Oh, you don't need so much money and all of these kind of lies, but it's all bullshit. And if you're being honest with yourself, then you will discover what you can actually change to become better. And this is something you do very well, and I enjoy that.
I think one of my most important skills is like my ability to analyze my surroundings. Like from a young age, I was analyzing what happened, and I understood who are the players in my city, for example. I understood who are the mafia guys. I understood who are the smartest guys, the businessmen. Like I analyzed everything from everyone. Like I took the best parts of them. Like I'll always compare myself with, they're like people are very stupid. Like, and I see some men that are obsessed about making money. They think if they make the most money, they have the most girls. I have friends from every direction of life. Like I have some friends, they're like drug addicts and like they're extremely stupid but funny. So like I know a lot of funny guys fuck more than millionaires. So like even though I'm richer and more successful than those stupid guys, I understand their power to be funny. I'm trying to get funnier. The same, I'm trying to get more money. I'm trying to be better at everything. Because I'm more successful than most people, that doesn't mean they don't have qualities that I don't have. Like I'm very careful to analyze everyone, what they do good, what they do bad.
Joe, do you lose your openness? Or did you lose your openness when you get older? What I mean is, of course, when you are a child, everything is exciting and you try out many new things, right? So,
Yeah.
do you still have like new ideas? Do you still change some of your strategies, or are you already like okay, I'm wise now and I'm more stubborn to the world? I have like my clear path. Uh, how did that change?
No, I'm trying to constantly create new challenges.
Mhm.
For example, in 2021, I have a project I'm trying to develop. I want to create a revenge house. So I have a revenge group that has like 200 people. And like I want to create a house where I'll bring like 5 guys maximum and we'll just live together in a big flashy mansion in Bucharest. Like I think it's a bold project because I get guys like who are very successful making money online and like we'll train together, we'll get bitches, we'll amplify our power, you know? So like it's like a project that nobody did, or I don't know if they I didn't heard nobody did that did it successfully. Like it's something that I think is challenging. And I also want this year or next year get on a TV show in Romania and like get really famous here. So I have plans and things that excite me ahead of me.
It's very interesting. You said TV show, like reality TV or like TV interview.
Reality TV,
Okay. But I believe Tate
like
did this
some
in England.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go on a stupid show. I want to be more stupid. I think I'm smart enough. Now I have to be funny and go mainstream and be stupid. I think this is the next move I'll do in Romania.
Yeah, this will amplify your Instagram and stuff for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Joe, a little bit off topic, but I really want to know what's your view on this whole red pill and manosphere stuff?
Bro, even though I think I'm more successful in with girls and I made a lot of money with girls, I really like Rolo and the guys from the manosphere. Like I've watched podcasts, I've read their articles. I think they give a good theoretical angle to everything. Like a lot of the things I've did after I've read Rolo, for example, I could explain it, you know, for myself. Like for example, I'll tell you a word: contextual alpha. I never thought about this situation in this way because I had a lot of like I always date like younger girls, and every time I date a girl who's like trying to become a lawyer or a doctor, she's telling me like, oh, I have my first job and like my boss is hitting up on me, like things like this. And now I understand, oh, so her boss is like a dork in real life, but because in his office he's the contextual alpha, he's trying to smash all the young pussy, you know? Like now I understand social things that happen in society through Rolo's lens, and it makes me more like I feel I have more knowledge and I can explain it to others better through Rolo's work, like through my experiences, but with his words. Or like the concept of like I had a girlfriend whose father was like the biggest mafia guy in Bucharest. So her father died, and her mom was like married like a loser, you know, something like this. And like she always thought about her first husband. She couldn't like forget him. And like reading Rolo, I heard about the concept of alpha widow. So like because she was like really impacted by that alpha, the woman couldn't get by, you know, couldn't like recover. Like there are very important concepts that Rolo discovered and talked about that I see in my life.
Yeah, Alex, I believe we have a similar view on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what Rollo teaches in his books is helpful for many men. Definitely, I think it helped me a lot as well. It's just something people end up, or men end up quickly, is this bitterness that might come from it if you dive into the dark side of understanding how women really work, and then you get bitter. And this is something where I'm always a bit confused about these guys, you know, who are like religious zealots of Rollo, and they never get past the stage. For example, I think Joe, you would agree that I think you also said this in the past a lot that being funny is a very important part of being good with women, and
Yeah.
that's something I don't see in these red pill and manosphere topics these days. They are all very serious, and I
Yeah,
think
like
this is
yeah, they're
reality.
very serious and they analyze situations very good, but they don't come with the solutions. You know,
Yes, yeah, that's an
they
important
don't
thing.
come because they're older, they have wives, and they, but they're good at talking about it. And I like the concepts and the words they use because some of, like I told you before, some of the concepts I see it in my life, but I couldn't explain it to myself before reading, let's say, the rational mail or blogs and listening to their podcasts.
Yeah, I do this as well. I mean, personally, I use the burden of performance a lot in my teaching.
Yeah, yeah, another good concept.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
another good
something
concept.
I don't know if I think Rollo said it initially, and
Yeah,
totally agree. He is, or what he teaches, and the red pill itself is a very important stage in a man's life to unplug, and it helps a lot of men. And what I'm just always a bit confused about is how people never get past this stage and finally become funny
and
and
another thing,
charismatic.
I think Rolo talked about is like the epiphany phase. Like men and women age differently. So like I had the girl, I was in a relationship with the girl. So like broke up when we both were like 25. We were the same age. So like we had different objectives. A woman at 25, she's like trying to like she's very serious. She's already mature. Probably wants kids, wants a marriage. But a man at 25, he's starting his life. So like men and women have different agendas. That's why it's better if a man is with a younger woman. And I see it all the time, like a man and a woman the same age, and like the man thinks about, I don't know, having fun and fucking other bitches, and the woman, no, 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 let's have a kid. You know, you have to understand. Rolo helps you understand the game. Okay, the woman, or like I see situations where a loser, a beta with money gets a hot girl, and like he has to understand why is this hot girl attracted to him, and things like this. Like beta providers, alphas, all these concepts are important if you understand it. You see the chessboard differently.
Hold on, my mic just crashed. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
All right, perfect. Was confused for a second there, but yeah, yeah. I just wanted to add to that I totally agree. It helps you understand reality better, obviously, and that's why I always said that the red pill is a very important stage in a man's life, and especially these days when people are, or men rather, are raised like women pretty much, and by a lot of women, then understanding it, how it really works, is very helpful, and then going beyond and understanding that not everything revolves around it, and that there is another life past that where you can have a lot of fun with women and enjoy female company instead of just trying to be controlling all the time. That is a very important step, I think.
Joe, one question to you. Since we talk about red pill and reality and stuff, Joe, do you think people are what they are? Some say we talked about kids for a little bit. Some say
Yeah,
kids. Some say kids are like a blank slate, like a blank page. Do you believe that, or do you think like kids are already what they are when they are born? Like for example, when I see little girls, some of them are like, or this is gonna be like a princess character, or this is gonna be a kind character. So they are already what they are. What do you believe?
I think, yeah, you're predisposed from your
Mm-hmm.
birth to for certain things, but like you can also mold yourself. through your experiences, through your education. You know,
Hmm.
maybe you're not predisposed to be the funniest guy, but you can develop charisma if you really want it. Or you're not predisposed to be like the greatest fighter, but you can learn fighting because you understand it's important. But it's a mix between your genetics and like your the work you put in.
Alex, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I agree. There are some. I think some certain traits are genetic. I think personally, I think we don't even understand ourselves closely well enough to really make an assessment. But I think that some kids have some certain traits when they are born, or which develop later. But most of it still is dependent on your environment. I think so. Even if you have some traits, they can be like never surface because you are not grown up. You didn't grow up in this environment, so they never came to the surface. And some are built through your environment. And I think the princess type, for example, there is some sort of basic genetic blueprint that has this, but you can either like make it stronger through how you raise her, or you can get it out a little bit and make her a decent girl. I think it's really much dependent on the parents.
Yes and no, man, because you can rate like I like I like Tate's take on girls, for example. Like if you have a girl, even if you neglect her or you raise her extremely well, she'll still fuck a guy and like she'll have kids for that guy and she'll take his name. You know, like I think the best strategy is trying to have a lot of kids and like have boys too, because boys can create your legacy. But like if you have a girl, she'll still like the same thing will happen. Even if you like, if I have a girl tomorrow, if I just leave her life or and like disappear or like raise her and explain everything about men, she'll still fuck an idiot her when she's 16 and suck his dick, and like the same things will happen. This is my opinion.
So, Joe, when we talk about the future, are you bound to your hometown in Romania? Like you were obviously born in Romania, right? Can you imagine, or do
Yeah.
you want to live somewhere else?
No, bro, because I'm used to like in Romania. You know what I don't like about Western Europe or even America? Like I see it all the time. Like a guy has like his parents are from one country, his mom is from another country, the grandpa, like everything is so mixed. In Romania, everyone is Romanian, and what? Everyone is Romanian. I like living in like in my culture. Of course, I like having connections all over the world. It's good for my ego and like for business and things like this. I like traveling, going to I don't know, Dubai and having millionaire friends there. Like as a base, I like Bucharest for now. If Bucharest will become shit like Western Europe, maybe I'll go more east. Maybe I'll go Chechnya, where I don't know, Chisinau. But like for now, I see my future here in Bucharest. It's very important to have a home base where you stay most of the year and create a good reputation. It helps you a lot. For example, in Bucharest, there are places where I go and like everyone is like, okay, I'll boss here, like sucking my dick, you know? Like I like it like this way. It helps me. I have more influence. I don't like people who are like living 1 month in one city, another month in another city, you know? It's like some dork shit, some nerd shit. I'm not into this. I like it this way.
Joe, you ever been to Germany?
No, I don't plan on going.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to Germany.
just stay where you are. Believe me, you'll be good.
Yeah, bro. Like I see some crazy shit. Like a lot. I don't want to be like extremist, but like, for example, Germany. Why the fuck are so many like Somali guys and like Muslims and Romanians? Like, I wouldn't want to live if I were a German. I wouldn't want like Romanian gypsies fucking my women and being there and like, you know, doing all the crazy shit. Like Romania is safer than Germany.
Yeah,
If you look at charts with crimes and things like this, Romania is safer than every country in Western Europe.
and that's what I don't understand because, Alex, that's my question to you. Can you imagine why people here in Germany are saying this about Romania? Because actually, the image of Romania is what you just described about Germany. So everyone in Germany thinks that Romania is like a shithole and with crime and stuff. So that's I don't know why.
I think because Germans tend to blind themselves to reality a lot. They don't really accept the truth what Germany has become these days. It's very liberal, obviously, and trying. I think people here are still to this day trying to undo what the Nazis did, and so you don't try to offend anyone or like affront anyone who isn't from Germany. So you just do everything to to be cool with everyone. And I think this has limits. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you should kick everyone out, but some limits should be implemented. And yeah, but this image comes from.
And you
Yeah,
know
sorry?
what's funny? Like the trashiest Romanians actually are not in Romania. They're still in Germany and other countries. You know, all the all the criminals are in Germany, and like taking the money from Germany and coming to Romania and spending it. Like from I don't live in my hometown. I live in the capital city in Bucharest. But like from my hometown, every criminal has girls working in Germany. Like they buy even the cars from Germany, and they live like most of the year in Germany. Like the trashiest guys, like the most dangerous guys, go there and come back with a lot of crazy stories about stealing and pimping bitches there. You know, like it's better for Romanians that the criminals are away, and when
Yeah, I
they come
think
here, they just spend money.
yeah, I think most Germans don't even know about this fact. They just tell themselves everything is fine, and they know nothing about what really is happening, and they don't want to know it. I think it's just some sort
Yeah.
of comforting lie that this isn't happening at all. But the truth is sometimes very dark, isn't it? But yeah,
Yeah.
to answer your question, I don't know why Germans think that Romania is so bad, because I actually think it's a very very beautiful and lovely country. Even though I've only seen it on videos, like from Tokyo, for example, and other pictures and videos.
And you know, Romanians really like Westerners. Like, we're taught here for television and things like this to worship everything that's from the West, you know? And like regular Romanians, when they hear, oh, I'm from Germany, it's like even the president of Romania right now, he has like his name is Klaus. It's like German name, you know. I think he has German roots or something like this. And like he was elected because people believe, oh, Germans are serious, get the job done. And like they suck in their dick, you know. So like if you're from Germany, everyone is impressed. Oh, an American, German, everyone is impressed, you know. Oh, they're rich.
You know what's funny?
He's from Germany. He's smarter. You know, they're like this. They're very stupid.
It's still
Yeah,
in
they were
2021,
brainwashed.
or
They were brainwashed. Like Romanians were brainwashed with American movies and Western. Like people trying to make Romania very like EU friendly and to embrace everything. So like if you say you're from Germany, people assume that you're the most serious person. Like you, the best professional.
Yeah, that's very
It's like
funny.
even a saying in Romania, German quality. It's like a really famous saying in Romania. Like if there are people literally opening businesses and like the motto is German quality. And like everyone, oh, German quality. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's especially funny because if you actually work in a company over here, you will quickly see that not everything is as high quality as people tell you.
And
I
like the
mean,
Romanian, yeah. And like the Romanian dream is to own a German car. Like everyone. No, like here the dream isn't to like I don't know have a Lambo, no, to have a Mercedes, Audi, or BMW are the like every kid dreams of this.
Yeah, that's funny because you see
Everything,
them everywhere.
yeah,
here.
everything from Germany like is deemed as extraordinary,
Yeah, but
like the best thing.
yeah, we are known for the cars. Definitely, they are
Yeah,
exported all over the world, and yeah, I mean, they are great. But even those cars are still made with the same materials like everyone else does it. So I like this thing that Germans apparently have this work ethic and everything is done perfectly and well.
yeah,
I think it's a traditional like meme about us pretty much because it's while it's still true I guess for some in comparison to some countries it's definitely not what it used to be. That is my experience. But anyway, yeah, I think it's funny that people are opening up businesses with German quality over there. That's
yeah,
some sort of marketing gig.
yeah. It's a very good marketing angle.
Yeah, so you said that Romanians really like the West or the Western
Yeah,
idea and culture. And why is that?
yeah.
Because it's
Because
very liberal and
Romanians don't understand. Yeah, Romanian don't understand what liberal means.
oh,
It's not a
okay.
thing. Romanian, like everywhere on television, it's about the fact that the salaries are bigger in Germany, for example. Everything is about the money, because Romania is a poor country. Like the medium wage is like $500 per month, something like this. You know, in Romania, it's like there are really rich guys and poor guys. The middle class is just now building up.
Mm.
Like they suck dick, like oh big salaries, oh, but they don't understand even the word liberal. If I tell it to Romanians, he doesn't understand what liberal means. It doesn't understand that Germany there are Somali guys and like Muslims, and it does. It's there are subjects that people talk about.
Okay, they
The
really just care
subjects
about the
that
money,
we
right?
talk about on Twitter and that we know people here don't think about. They're like blind money. Oh, salaries, Germany, quality. You know, they're like thinking in these terms.
Yeah, that's interesting because what I like a lot about Romania is something Tate has mentioned as well is the traditional viewpoint on like the gender
Yeah,
roles and the religion. I think is very helpful because it keeps people in morals and in like the traditional viewpoints how we should
yeah,
interact
but
with.
like now through the influencers and through television, they're really trying to make it seem like if you're traditional, you're a loser and like you're a barbarian and like you have to be liberal. They don't say the word liberal, but like they promote the liberal values. No.
Oh, so the poison is coming over.
Yeah. They're slowly trying to poison the Romanian's mind, like frame it in a nice way. Frame it in a way that oh, if you believe in God, you're a barbarian. You should be more open. You should be more open-minded. Look, the Germans are the German mentality, the Western mentality. You have to be like this. Oh, it's normal to be gay. Oh, you know.
Well, Joe,
Is this on? Yeah,
Slowly
sorry.
but surely they're doing it.
Joe, I gotta
Is
say,
this on
Like,
Twitter?
yeah,
it's
Alex,
like a big discussion because in Romania they're the most churches in Europe. You know, the most churches are in Romania, and they're like, "Oh, why do we invest so much in churches? Churches are shit. Religion shouldn't be about churches. It should be about spirituality. You know, all kind of
Yes.
bullshit things like this."
absolutely. Joe, what's your take? Because I really liked what I have read one of your latest emails. I think you sent the email
Yeah.
yesterday or the day before where you wrote something about they want you depressed. You know, like sad memes and sad songs and movies
Yes.
about drug abuse. I really liked what you said there. What's your take on that? I mean,
Yeah.
that's also like manipulation and media and stuff, right? Like brainwashing.
Yeah. Like brainwashing really works. Like I even fucked a girl like 2 days ago. She had the tattoo here. It wrote Travis Scott. Like these girls are idiots, you know. Like they're trying to emulate the celebrities and things like this. So like if like let's say you know the artist XXX Tentacion, he's like a very popular rapper. He died and he was like oh always depressed and always you know and like people it becomes, it normalizes being depressed. It normal. Like I have a 15-year-old cousin. He was like, "Oh, I'm depressed," and I was like, "Why are you depressed?" "Oh, my girlfriend cheated on me," and like I was like, "You didn't even fuck her." "Oh, but yes," like bullshit things that it became normal to be depressed, to say this word. And if your tongue is your future, your tongue is your reality. If you say depressed, you really become depressed. Back in the day, it wasn't even a thing. Now, even in Romania, a lot of concepts are brought from abroad, like the word bullying. When I was in school, I did bullying every day, and it wasn't even a word. The word bullying didn't exist, but now it's a word. They brought this word, and oh, you have to accept everyone. No, if he's fat, like if you're fat, you have to love yourself. These Western concepts are slowly coming here. But now it's okay. Like there aren't many fat girls or things like this. But in the future, it will become normal, like in the West, to be fat culture, to be like, oh, no, politically correct.
Yeah, Alex, that's basically this toxic masculinity stuff, right? So what used to be normal masculinity is now toxic, but it's perfectly normal.
Yeah, I always said that there is no toxic masculinity. It's really just masculinity. I mean, there's this stigma that being a man and doing things you want to do, you have like a drive to do, make it whatever it might be, what you want to do, dominate people, rule, have threesomes. I don't know what it is, and that's really just something some men want. It's not even all men. Some men just want to do that, and there's nothing toxic about it. It's just part of being masculine. I mean, you could also say that putting makeup on yourself is toxic femininity because you hide your true face or some shit like that. That's not toxic. It's just part of being feminine. Much like doing these things we like doing is part of being masculine. And I gotta give credit though to whoever came up with this term, because if you tell men that masculinity itself is toxic, they try to suppress it as much as possible. And this works fantastically well, and you don't even have to do something other than throwing this stupid term around all the time. So whoever did this, that was fantastic marketing for your liberal woke agenda.
No, if you see it from a different angle, like it's good that people are brainwashed to be like men are brainwashed to be pussies, because the masculine men have no competition, So like it's easier to be a G right now because everyone is stupid.
That's an angle I didn't thought about.
Well, Joe, that's basically your whole business is built around men like these, right?
Yeah, bro, of course, yeah. Like you can benefit from this culture we live in. You can benefit the fact that men jerk off at porn and webcam models and things like this. Like for society is bad, like for certain people it's good. So like you have to position yourself somewhere where you benefit from the bad things that happen.
Yeah, I mean there are multiple ways to make like a living, or to make an impact, if you want to call it that. Because in the end, you have to look after yourself, and if you're gonna change society on your own, that is up to you. If you can do it, but using the system that exists, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, people say you pretty much are supporting that system of the weak sims, but I don't think so. I think they exist anyway. If you do your webcam studios or not, they will be around anyway. And if you are not into trying to change them, then that's totally up to you. I don't understand why people are always so judgmental about that.
My point of view about this is like in my reality, I like teaching all my friends and like even people on Twitter through my ebooks and my tweets and everything I do, how to not be sims and how to make girls sims. Like I try to make like, bro, when I see a girl, like when a guy comes to me and says like some mean shit about a girl crying or doing some cruel into a girl, I'm very happy. At the same time, I'm really happy when one of my cam models convinces a guy to make a 50K loan, or so I like man being scammed, let's say it like this, if it's in my benefit. But in my universe, I like men being masculine. Like I'm attacking from every angle.
Joe, do you
Yeah,
get
that's
it?
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alex, you talk first.
Yeah, sorry. Because I always said that you know a society cannot work if everyone is the masculine alpha. There always needs to be
Yeah,
some sort of betas, if you
balance.
want to
Yeah,
use that word. Otherwise, the society just doesn't work. Because you would just fight each other all the time. So there will always be kings and there will always be peasants. And no, not everyone is the average person isn't a peasant, obviously, but you get my point. And there's always this pretty much just the Pareto distribution. There will always be 80% and 20%. There's just nothing you can do about it. And the sooner you accept that, and that some people will just never succeed, you can decide for yourself that you are going to be in the 20% or in the 1% rather, and be a great guy instead of being one of the others.
Yeah.
But that's your decision.
yeah. Oh, guys, so my computer will shut down. I'm like 1%.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think we are pretty finished
Yes.
anyway, right?
Thanks for having me.
Of course, Joe. Thank you for coming on, man.
It's a great pleasure, man.
Yeah, it
It's
was
been
great
a
talking
pleasure
to you.
for us. Awesome, Joe.
Okay, bro. See you later.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
see you,
Joe.
man.
Thanks for coming on. Bye. All right. Alex, what do you say?
Yeah, great businessman, man. I mean, I knew all of this before. I really like what he's doing because he's one of these guys, pretty much like Tony Montana, who just goes after what he wants and what
Yeah.
he needs and builds and creates his own reality. And I adore something like that because not everyone has the mental capacity to do that, to really like virtually create your own reality. And I enjoy these sort of icons who do that. I know some people don't like what he does, as I said before, that he might promote even more Sims and all of that. But I think life is way more nuanced than that, as I said before.
Yeah.
And
I'm wondering if he gets a lot of hate for what he does. I'm actually pretty sure about this.
yeah, I think so too. I
I'm
mean,
very-
even
yeah.
I got hate for retweeting his tweet. So, yeah.
It's a mad world, man.
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad he came onto this, man. You know, sometimes you just realize you are intellectually beneath someone, and,
Yeah.
and I felt that today. I felt that totally.
Yeah, it's funny. That's something I wanted to say, but I forgot in the call that his perception of, or other people's perception of him rather, is sometimes stupid. I have noticed that people have literally told me, "Why are you like retweeting something from this idiot?" And I'm like, "Do you really think he's an idiot? I mean, how can you think that of a man who has achieved so much? You might not like what he does, and that's totally fine. I mean, that's totally up to you. But calling him stupid, it's the same when people call Trump stupid. You might really not like what he does, but he's definitely not a stupid man. He's very, very intelligent. And it's the same with Joe. He is way more intelligent than you think, which his life is testament to it because he achieved a lot. And so yeah, people really got to be more careful with throwing that stupid and idiot words around.
Absolutely. I think I learned a lot today.
Oh yeah.
Like there was so much of information right now. I wanted to go to sleep now, but I believe I can't. I can't anymore, man.
I'm gonna rewatch or rehear our podcast.
Yeah, I have to for the timestamp. So, okay, let's
Oh, yeah.
let's rewatch together then. let's jerk off on our own voices, man.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. To build a bit more of our ego. Right?
Absolutely, man.
That's another funny thing he mentioned as well, because he
Yes.
said a lot that he likes building up his ego, and there's another big stigma in society around a man's ego, which I think is weird because then ego is really something that drives you forward. It's the motivator you need, and that's something that has helped me a lot. People always imagine you're just that. Yeah, you're pretty much an asshole if you have an ego, but that's really not the case. You're just confident,
Yeah.
and you are confident in what you can do and what you will achieve. And someone said, I don't know who it was, but he said, confidence looks like arrogance from beneath.
I like
Pretty
that.
savage, I think, but it's true because if you are not at this position, then you think the person who is confident in his success and what he achieved in his ego pretty much is arrogant, but he actually has something to show for. And it's the same with Joe. His ego just doesn't just exist just cause. It is because he actually managed a lot of things in his life. And that's an important distinction because there are people who have a big ego without achieving anything. Those guys obviously are not to be followed, but men like Joe, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, he coined it. He coined it. It's not just empty words, you know. And
Yeah.
I even believe he is able to swallow his ego from time to time. You know, we talked about self-censoring, and there were like moments in this stream. You probably know which ones I'm talking about. Where I would like to, I would like to go deeper, and I would like to talk like really open with him.
Yes.
I talked about Germany, we talked about girls and stuff. And, you know, there are some things you just can't talk about on YouTube, but I would like to.
Yes. Yes.
know, that's,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and that just I mean, we also talked about the difference between Tony Montana and, for example, Vito Corleone or Al Capone, who is the actually the inspiration for Tony Montana. So yeah, one of them is like ruthless and cold-blooded and not really thinking about what he does, and on the other hand we have Vito, who is like calculating and strategic. And I believe Joe Lampton perfectly captures the two sides of the coin, you know.
Yeah, I think he said he would. I don't quite remember or recall what he said exactly. I think he chose Vito Corleone in the end.
I think he likes Tony Montana, but he wants to be like Vito Corleone. That's
Yeah, because
yeah.
I was thinking while he was said it that he is actually both. I think he, as you said correctly, incorporates both of these archetypes or
Yes.
characters, at least to some degree, and that's something because I think both of these characters are actually a great, are very instructive to men out there who are listening because you can be both of these persons if you want to. You can choose to be only either of them and you still be masculine and successful, or you can be part of both.
Right.
And that's something people don't get, but what I have been teaching for a while now, that you can totally be whoever you want to be. It really starts in your mind. You have to decide what kind of man you want to be and then just act like it and be that guy. And then that will become your second nature at some point.
It actually reminds me of the Spanish title of Scarface, you know, which is called The Price of Power. Actually, you have to.
That's
you,
a fantastic.
I love it. I love that. I love that. You know, German. So the German translation from Scarface is actually Scarface. Well, thanks for nothing, guys. But
Yes.
I really love the price of power because I would really say power comes with a price, and you have to sacrifice something. You can continue to live the way you live, but are you really gonna let hope die and dreams die all just because you played by the rules? You know.
Yeah. Sacrifice is also a big theme of mine, because this is something near and dear to my heart. You have to sacrifice things if you want to achieve something. That's just how the world works, and it might even just be. Sometimes it's trivial things like you have, for example, to sacrifice playing video games or watching Netflix all day if you want to achieve. That's actually easy. Or you have to sacrifice like contact to your friends and parents if you really want to achieve, because they are a hindrance, like I have done in the past. And this is something very, very important. And people are afraid of that because they are so bound to these things they have right now, and they are just afraid of the unknown. And this is something like Joe or all these masculine guys, and especially also the characters in these movies display that they take risks and they are not afraid of sacrificing things or even people. sometimes literally like Tony Montana does. but um, but it's very important to understand that this is a big part of achieving something in life.
Absolutely. And I think you captured this really well in one of your latest tweets that, the rules we believe in and the rules we are currently, obeying are actually rules made up by other people, You said it way better than I did right now, but something along the way.
Yeah, I said that all rules are arbitrary, which
Mm-hmm.
means they are literally just made by man. And for example, laws, they don't apply to animals, right? And the nature itself. It's
Mm-hmm.
really just in the human mind. And sometimes in life you have to break rules, and it is a sacrifice because you put yourself into the possibility of the consequences of breaking those rules. And this might even ruin you to some degree or your plans, or it might propel you forward. But it's a risk you have to take, and it's a sacrifice of safety, really. And sacrificing your safety, like your comfort bubble and your comfort zone, is, I would say, the foundation of any success.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we talked briefly about like your safe space, with Joe. He was born and raised in Romania, and he's probably gonna stay there. It's the same for us. We were born and raised in Germany, but we want to get out of here as soon as possible. So it's basically leaving your safe comfort zone.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
I mean, I want to, but it's really hard for me to imagine. I mean, I was born and raised here. I've never lived anywhere else than in Germany. But
Yeah,
the future is, yeah.
yeah, I obviously was thinking about this a lot, especially in recent times with all this COVID thing and how Germany operates with this.
Mm.
In other words, being utterly stupid about it. Um, I was thinking a lot about leaving this country at some point, but this might really just be, and that's something that always comes back into my mind. Is it just the grass is greener on the other side kind of thing? I
Well,
mean, any country has its
I
issues.
know the weather is warmer in
Yeah, well,
in
that's
certain
a plus,
countries.
definitely.
Yeah, I would just like move out just for the weather's sake. I go somewhere where it's
Absolutely.
warm, man. And the fucking German weather.
Yeah, I would definitely move into a warmer country for sure,
Mm.
100%. And the German weather is really annoying most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, in winter it's cold and like rainy all the time. It's not even snowing every winter. You have this sort of mud shit, and
Mhm.
in summer it's unbelievably annoyingly hot. And you're like,
Yeah.
why can't there be like a middle ground?
The Germans don't even get snow right.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah,
but
that's
but
about
but
German
but
culture.
but there's one thing we can do, and that's cars. We make
Oh
the
yes.
best cars. Yeah, we are not. We are not promoting any one of these brands
No,
Joe
not at all.
mentioned before. No, no.
Yeah, why don't we ask Mercedes about the sponsorship?
Do you really think Mercedes? I mean, okay, you write the email, man.
Yeah, man.
Actually, this stream was brought to you by Google. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go to google.com and type in Red Smoke, and you get 60% off of all Google products. Do it right now, guys.
Nice.
All right, we're out of time, Alex.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say to the precious Red Smoke audience?
Yeah, really just rewatch again what you saw today because there were a lot of like nuggets in there, wisdom nuggets, and especially a lot of them and I guess you as well didn't expect, because we always project our images onto people, especially like men who have a lot of women. There's always some sort of stigma and this kind of pimp image. But I think Joe really crushed this today and told us
Absolutely.
or showed us that there is another side of such man, and it's really just a businessman who is successful and knows how to be successful and what's important to be there. And there's a lot to learn from that, I think, if you can overcome your prejudice.
Absolutely. Joe is not online anymore, but if I had the chance, I would say to him now, thanks for showing me a different reality.
Oh
Actually,
yeah,
yeah, that's
absolutely. Well, yeah, that's also a very important part. The last thing I want to mention here
Yes,
is
sure.
that he was very right there when he said that you can create your own reality, whatever that may be. It really doesn't matter. You can completely create your own reality, because if you think about it, multiple realities exist all the time.
Yeah.
People think, for example, Trump is the best president ever, and other people think he's a fucking idiot. So these are two realities existing at the same time. So why don't you think you can create your own? And
That's a really good point.
yeah, if you look at people like Joe, who works completely different with his business and women than all the men you know, I guess it's pretty obvious that you can completely create what you want.
I agree. All right, that's good. I always want to end the stream on a positive note, man. So that's
Yes,
good.
it was positive, wasn't it?
Absolutely, man. All right, I'm gonna close the stream now with a tweet of mine, which I tweeted a few days ago. So guys, remember, don't be like Tony Montana, but be like Tony Montana, but actually don't be like Tony Montana, okay? That was Red Smoke.